Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Monday story. I wanted to tell you about some of the things that went on last week while I was out and about in the Memphis area. Okay, Memphis is about, between 50 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on traffic from where I live. So anyway, I went to UPS to drop off a package. And I've talked about this in the past, but the ladies at UPS have gotten so used to when I come in there that I'm like hugging everybody. And so when I got through handing her my package, and she scanned the package and gave me my receipt, she comes around the counter to where I am and just stands there. And we're talking for just a minute. And then she looked kind of funny and she said, "Are you not going to ask me for that hug that I owe you?" And grinned really big. And I said, "Well, yes, I was just waiting on you to wrap your arms around me and hug me." And of course she did. She is such a sweet, beautiful woman. And she hugged me and told me how much it meant to her when I come in there, that I just brighten up the whole place and all of that. But here's the part of the conversation I want to tell you about, okay? Now, let me step back just a second. When I went into the building, there's a lady up at the desk and they're having a decent conversation. But there's a woman in between me being next, okay, the next lady in line. And she had such negative vibes. You could tell. I mean, you could feel the negativity. Did you know that you can get within 3 to 5 feet of someone, and if you're in tune, you can tell what type of vibes they're giving off? And I'll go a little further and tell you that you can decide if you want to let any of that get on you, or if your vibe or your aura, your spirit is stronger than theirs, okay? So I'm well aware that there's this negative lady there. Well, she makes it up to the counter and she just kind of throws her package down. And the UPS lady is really sweet and nice to her, which the lady does not reciprocate, by the way, okay? So she leaves and then I get up there and do my deal. So let's pick up where the lady, I'm the only person in line at that point. No one's come in yet to get in line behind me. So we have our little conversation just a little bit about how she's been and her kids and different things. And then we do the hug thing. Well, the next thing, she was thanking me and talking to me about how, she knows that the way that we treat people and how kind we are, we get to decide that. And I said, "Oh, well, let me tell you kind of how I roll." And she said, "Okay, please do." And I said, "Did you know when I go into a store, say like Walmart or the grocery store, wherever, I will actually pick the grumpiest, the one that's got the meanest look on their face, the one that just looks like they're just going to treat you horribly. And I will go to that cashier intentionally." And she looked at me, she said, "Oh, get out of here." Yeah, no. See, I avoid people like that. I get enough negative stuff right here at UPS. I don't need to ask for more when I go out to a store for me to be mistreated. I said, "Well, here's why I go to that cashier. I am the only hope that person has that day for their day to turn around. And that's what they need. I'm the dose of happiness, the joy, peace, love, kindness, that I'm that dose that they need. And if I don't get in their line, then I'm the only hope they have." Because other people are just like you and just like I used to be. I used to be exactly the same way. Why would I want to go get in the middle of that nasty mess, right? And I said, but I finally realized that the only hope that cashier has for that day, or that unhappy person that I run into while I'm shopping, I'll be going down an aisle at Sam's Club or wherever, and I'll see a grumpy old angry looking drawn up face, and I just go ahead and go over there and I'm going to override their negativity. I'm just going to give them a dose of happiness. And she looks at me and she says, "Oh my goodness, I haven't ever really thought about it that way, but you're right. If everybody that's kind avoids them, all they're ever going to get will be people just like them that's angry, upset, mean, and rude, and they're just going to ignite each other and it's going to get worse and worse." I said, "Exactly. And I am going to drop a love bomb on that person and let them figure out what they want to do with that. But if enough of us love bomb people would come and do that, it would change the world. Right now, we're loving our neighbor, we're loving our own people, and I'm talking not Christianity here, I'm talking about people that are happy. We're drawn to happy people, so we're around happy people, and we're friends with our friends. But when I see that negative, nasty person, I avoid them like the plague. Well, you know what? I'm not going to be able to heal their plague if I keep avoiding them. So I figured that out, and now I just go around, and I guess I'm picking on all the mean people because I'm just going over there loving on them and being kind to them, and I'm changing their heart is what I'm doing. I'm changing their attitude and their heart. Okay, so let me go into, and I'll try to keep this little video today kind of short, but I had to do a return at Walmart in my local town here. And what it was is I picked up olive oil instead of almond oil by mistake. I was probably on the telephone or talking to someone, answering whatever. I put the wrong one in the basket. Well, you know, they don't really like taking back food and stuff, and I've had it for a couple of months. I didn't even realize it till I pulled it out to use it. And I buy the really big jugs at Sam's Club, you know, of the extra virgin olive oil. So I do use olive oil, but this was the cheapest, lowest grade olive oil you could buy. I mean, it was junk. I probably should have just thrown it in the garbage, right? But I had 2 or 3 other little things I was taking back. And I told her, I said, now look, I don't have my receipt for this, and I know it's a food item. I said, you can look at it, tell it hasn't been opened. But what I would like to do is, if you would let me, I would like to exchange it and get the almond oil that I need for this specific recipe that I'm going to be making. And she looked kind of funny. She said, "Ooh, I don't know if the machine will let me do it or not. But I tell you what, you just go on and you get what you want, come back up here." So I did. I went back and I stopped back by there, and she remembered me, and she did try it in the system. And she said, "Oh, no, that didn't work. I tell you what, let me try something different." So she did something different, and then she puts it in the bag, and she said, "Okay, never mind, I got it handled. Take it and go on." And she put the olive oil in the return basket where they would put it back on the shelf. Now, I'm going to go a little further. This is not the same girl, but this one particular girl told me, she said, "You are one of the nicest people that I have ever waited on up here at Walmart. And I know you've probably been told that before." And I said, "Well, I've heard that I'm a nice lady. Yes, I've heard that." And smiled, and she said, "But I'm serious. You are so kind, not to me. I watched you as you were talking to the other customers, and no matter who it is, you're kind to them." And so she noticed that even the grumpy people, and you know, I let somebody get in front of me. I'm like, "Are you in a hurry? Because you can go in front of me if you want to." How rare is that you have someone do that? I do that all the time, guys. The other day, a lady was trying to dig around and find some money. No, it was a gentleman trying to find some money to pay for what he had rang up. He had this cash laying there. He said, "Do you mind watching my stuff? I need to go to the car and get a little bit of money." I said, "Well, no, I don't mind." And then as he started walking off, I said, hold up. Wait just a second." And he stopped. I said, "Why don't you just tell me how much money you need so you can get your stuff and you can just leave one time?" He said, "Oh, I don't need but like 52 cents. I said, "Well, here, let me pay the 52 cents and get your things and go on and get out of here." He said, "Oh, I don't know. That's okay. I don't mind." I said, "Really, honestly, is it really worth you going outside, getting some change out of your armrest and having to come back in while I stand here and watch your register?" He said, "Well, no, it don't make sense, does it?" I said, "No, it doesn't make sense." And I handed him the money. He said, "You have got to be one of the kindest people." These are little things that I do to show people that I love them and that I want the very best for them. Now, I'm going to tell you one more story, okay? I was at the Walmart doing some returns. I guess it's been 3 or 4 weeks ago now, maybe longer. And there's a little girl behind the counter, and I had never seen her before. And I said, "Are you new here?" And she said, "No, I've been here about 3 months. I used to be a waitress over at the pizza place, but I wasn't making a lot of money. And, you know, people are kind of mean." And I said, "Yes, I do know, because I used to be a server as well." And so we talked just a minute. And again, that particular day, I had let a lady in front of me, and there was a guy that was behind me that I was super nice to, and she took care of him while she called a manager up to do something she needed done for my return, okay? It was a defective machine, and she needed the manager to know about it. So anyway, when I got through, she looked at me, and she said, "You are the nicest person I have ever met in my entire lifetime." And I said, well, that's really nice of you to say that. She said, no, ma'am, I'm not saying it to be nice. I'm telling you that I've been around a lot of people, and I have never met anybody like you. And here's what I want you to get out of what I've been talking about today. Did you know that when we make it a intentional way of life, when we intend to get out of bed and live in peace, joy, and happiness, and that we're not just going to keep it to ourselves as a greedy thing and try to seek it and keep it. No, I'm going to go and I'm going to pour that all over everybody. Did you know it becomes automatic? You will literally just start not even thinking about trying to be. It's just flowing out of you. I believe there's a Bible verse that says rivers of living water. That's what I have, that I'm just drenching people in, and it's called love, that river of love. And that's how I live my life. No matter what your theology is, what your beliefs are about God or Christianity or anything else, there's one thing that we can always depend on, and it's called love. Love will always win. Love will always make people feel better, make the world a better place, if we can just keep our eyes focused on that. Love always, always goes out, and it will accomplish what we send it to do. I love you, and I'll see you here tomorrow, okay? Bye-bye.